I'm going to be building a sub enclosure today for my two Soundqubed HDX3 12s. The box is going to be 5.22 cubic feet net, tuned to 31.5 hertz. I was going to get birch, but that stuff's expensive. It's $70 a sheet. I had to get 3 sheets. So I toned it back to this solid core maple veneer cabinet grade plywood. It's a lot better than that ACX plywood I used last time. Also, this plywood's a lot lighter than birch plywood or even MDF. I was looking online, and MDF, 3/4 sheet of MDF is 90 pounds. 3/4 sheet of birch is 80. These sheets I got right here are 60. So that's going to save me quite a bit of weight right there. So I'm just going to try them. Plus it's got this nice maple finish on top. Should look really good. I also made this straight edge on the table saw because it'd just be too hard for me to get a whole sheet up on my little table saw by myself. So I made this straight edge for my skill saw so I can make nice straight clean cuts. These are the two boards for the front of the enclosure that's going to have the cutout for the acrylic window. It's going to have a 12-inch by 24 by 3/4 acrylic window. I went ahead and penciled in my marks I needed on the board just for reference and visual. I just used the plunge cut method on my table saw to cut it out and then finished it off with the jigsaw. So I'm just going to show a small clip on one cut on how I did that. I got the front of the box pretty much finished up and the window test fitted for now. This is the back side inside the box, so you won't even see this side. But this is what it'll look like from the front. It came out nice. I threw a nice bevel around it with the router. So the actual opening after the overlap is 10 by 22. It's going to look fantastic. I cut the sub holes in the baffle. It came out great. I haven't even sanded them yet or anything. I just used a plunge router and a spiral cut bit. My guide had a hole in it, so I just used a screw through that hole and used it as a circle cut jig. So I'm going to show you a small clip on how I did that. I got my port put together. I use corner clamps on it so it's nice and square. So we should be good there. I also stuck a square on there and it's pretty darn close. I got my round over here on the end. Sorry for the focus. So that looks good. I'm going to attach it with pocket hole jigs. I'm going to try to put the whole box together to where you don't see any screw holes from the outside. And then on the inside, I'm going to be painting it white. So I'll just fill the pocket hole screws, and then when you paint it white, you'll never see it. And then I got this corner rounded over too. So it looks good. I got the front and back and two sides glued and clamped together. I'm going to try to put this box together so you don't see any screws from the outside. So I just used lots of glue and clamping pressure to glue these together. They came out pretty good. I've lightly sanded them already. So we're almost ready to start putting this thing together. I got to start marking the screw holes in my top and bottom boards so I could start pre-drilling holes. Here's the top and bottom with all the screw holes marked. It took a while penciling all the lines and spacing out the screw holes where I wanted them. But it came out good. This is the top, obviously. The window will be right here. You can see the port. This is the bottom. So I think what I'm going to do is attach the first top and bottom boards with screws, countersink them, and then the finish second piece on the top and bottom, I'm just going to glue and use clamping pressure so you can't see any screw holes. I got all my holes countersunk. Took me a minute. I'm going to be using corner clamps to help with the assembly. So I'm just about ready to start gluing and screwing and assembling this box. All the holes came out where I wanted them to, so we're looking good. It's coming along. I let the glue set up overnight before I put the other piece on the top, or actually it's the bottom. But I screwed everything through. Into the double layers. And then all my pieces were pocket hole jigged together. From the inside. There's one behind the port too. And I'm just going to fill those because the inside of the box is going to be painted. So you won't see any screw holes from the outside. And the second layer on the top and bottom, I'm just going to use clamping pressure, like I said, to hold it on. So you won't see any screw holes when it's all done. I got my port wedge in. I just use a clamp up top. And I used some blocks down below and just wedged them in there to add some pressure. But it's in there. Already rounded over, ready to go. So all I got to do now is put the bottom on, pre-drill my holes, take it off, glue, put it back on and screw it. I'm just going to fill the pocket hole screw holes now and sand the inside of the box to 220 so it's ready to go for paint. And then I'll put the bottom on. So here it is all glued and screwed together. I still got to put the second bottom and top boards on, but other than that, it's just about done. I'm just letting the glue cure before I clamp the two top boards on and finish it off. Came out pretty good. Port looks nice. Can't wait to hear this thing. So we're just going to let this set up and then I'll clamp those two boards on. I got the second layer on the bottom clamped on. I used tons of glue. One thing I wish though is I wish I had more clamps. I was not prepared for that, so next time I build a box, I'll definitely be investing in more clamps. So that cured overnight. We're just going to flip it over and do the top. Clamp it on the same way. I don't have long, but I just wanted to show you that I used plenty of glue and I spread it out before I clamped the piece together. So here we go. I'm about to put the top piece on. Well, here it is. All screwed, glued, and clamped together. It went together fairly easy. Now I just gotta sand the heck out of it. So I think I'm just gonna save that for part 2. Part 2 of the video, we're going to finish staining, polyurethane in the outside. getting the speaker terminals installed, the acrylic window, and speakers installed in the box. So stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.